Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn energy reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do. If it does not, leave the parts that do not, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, I'm going to use the wisdom of the oracle cards. I just got these, and I really like these. There is a link down below if you want to check those out. And we're going to look at what you may possibly be struggling with. We have breathe. What it is that you need to look at. Enchanting gifts. Possible future energies. Go the distance. And bottom of the deck for overall energies, we have chaos and conflict. I almost feel like it's this chaos and conflict as an overall energy is like stirring the pot and making things happen and creating things in order to achieve things. Sometimes when things are stagnant, that it becomes boring or it becomes the same or it becomes repetitive or it almost becomes robotic. And I feel like there's this chaos and conflict stirs things up for you to see things, for you to explore things, for you to acknowledge things. So what you may be struggling with is breathe, which is relaxing, taking a time out. I feel like it's focusing on yourself. It's looking at things that maybe you haven't seen. We have enchanting gifts, and that it's funny because I just got these cards, so I have an idea. You get this feeling from cards like what they mean, but it's also really cool to read the book and see what it is the author is explaining in the pictures. And enchanting gifts is that if you want something to happen, that you have to put in that time to make things happen, right? That if you want to be a millionaire, that you have to be good with budgeting, and you have to be good with money, and you have to be good with, you have to have those restrictions, and you have to figure out, that balance. Or if you want to be a famous actor, that it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of process, and it has a lot of realizations, and it's a lot of work. And that when you see that person, they've succeeded, right? They're the millionaire, they're the musician, they're the actor, they're famous for whatever they've done, and that's when you've seen, but you don't see them, all the hard work that it's taken them behind the scenes in order to get where they were. So enchanting gifts is that knowing that in order to receive something that you have to give. It's that back and forth, it's that dance. That's why the ballerina is there. It's the dance of the back and forth. It's that giving and receiving. It's knowing that you can't always be the giver and you can't always be the taker. There has to be that back and forth. It also has to do within relationships, that if you're always the giver and you have trouble receiving, that it kind of puts you in that victim mode, right? Because you're always giving, and you're not receiving back. But it's also within relationships is that's what makes a relationship good, is that giving and receiving and knowing what that other person needs, but also expressing what it is that you need. But it's about doing the hard work in order to achieve your goals, and having that give and take, and realize that there's those ups and downs. So I feel like that's what I was saying, was that chaos and conflict is to stir things up, that maybe things have been one-sided, maybe things are been a certain way, but then you want more, that you want these other things to happen, but you have to put the work in. It would be a lot easier if we could just kind of sit back and say, well, this is what I would like to have happen. I'd like to be a millionaire, and then the next thing you know, you are. Or I'd like to be famous, and the next thing you know, you are. But realizing that you have to put the work in helps you to realize that you have to go the distance, that it's something that's going to take time, that you're going to have that chaos, you're going to have that conflict, you're going to have those ups and downs. But it's rewarding because you've worked so hard for something. All right, so let's grab these. Let's do my Greenwich Tarot. I haven't use these. So what is this that Capricorn is struggling with breathing, with relaxing? Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups. She almost kind of looks like this picture too, right? Because she's on a lily pad in water, and she's on that little stone there in the water. I feel like you're having trouble with relaxing and feeling calm and being in that frame of mind where you can focus. I feel like you may have a hard time with trying to find the balance in different areas of your life. I feel like there may be something that you want to achieve and you want to do, but you're having trouble trying to find time for it. Or, it could be that the relationships and work, right? There's that unbalance there. You're having trouble with the balancing different areas of your life. We have a lot of clouds around this barn, and he's trying to balance these two pentacles. And that's what the Two of Pentacles means, is trouble balancing different areas of your life. Five of Wands. I also feel like you're having trouble with trying to figure out who's on your side and who's not on your side. I feel like you're questioning the people that are around you, and you're not really sure. And that's causing you to be stressed. It's causing you anxiety. It's causing you to really question things that are going on around you. There may be a lot of chaos and conflict around you, and so that's why it's hard for you to breathe. That's why it's hard for you to relax. All right, so we have that one came out. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Ace of Swords. So what you need to look at is Four of Cups, where she's kind of sitting here and there's someone at her door, but she's not acknowledging that. That's kind of that lack of interest. I almost feel like it's that time that you need to yourself in order to sort through things, to see how you're really feeling. We have the Queen of Swords, which is somebody who finds the truth of a situation, and she finds the solution to things. We also have the Ace of Swords, which is, again, finding solutions, but it's also a new way of thinking. It's a new way of seeing things. It's a new way of looking at things. And it could be that you realize that in order for you to receive, you have to give, or that when you give, you have to receive, that there has to be this back and forth. That if you want things to be at a higher level, that you realize, okay, I've got to put in a lot of work, right? I've got to focus on this. If it's a relationship that you're wondering about, that you got to put the work into those relationships that you feel are important to you, or those businesses, or those careers, or those jobs, or that education, or that learning, or that skill. And realizing that that is something that you have to do, that you can't. There's a lack of interest here. I feel like there's a lack of interest that you're having in a situation or a relationship, that I feel like you're just kind of, that's what I said, is that you feel that boredom, or you feel that you're just not interested in something, and that chaos and conflict, sometimes that stirs things up, and it helps you to realize, okay, what do I really want to do here? Is this how I want to be, is in this Four of Cups? Is this how I want my life to be? Is this how I always want things to be, or do I want to change that up? And if I want to change that up, how do I change that up? Going the distance for that Ten of Pentacles, right? That security, that family life, or that feeling of home, right? Not just a house, but the feeling of home. We have the World Tree, which is the world, but it also has the four seasons here. We have the summer, we have fall, we have winter and spring. That this is something that takes time, right? Again, going the distance, something that takes time, something that takes a while. That this is not something that happens overnight. We have nature, which also is the Capricorn card, the Devil card, where the hunter is setting the trap, but the bear sees the trap. But I almost feel like you see that in this future energy. I feel like you see that, okay, yeah, I have to go the distance, and it's easy to fall into that trap of that laziness or giving up. Because, like I've said before, I feel like sometimes we have these challenges that if we want something, that we're challenged to see how badly that we want it. Do we want to pursue it? Do we want to hang in there? Do we want to be in it for the long run? Are we willing to put that work and effort into it to receive those enchanting gifts? And it tests us and it questions us. And how do we answer that? The High Priestess, listening to that voice within and that own guidance and direction that you have. But I feel like it's giving you those answers. And it's giving you those directions and that guidance, and that's something that you have to be in tune with, that you have to be in touch with. But in order to do that, you have to breathe, you have to relax, you have to focus, you have to take that time to yourself, you have to ask yourself those questions, and you have to look within and find your own truth as to what you want to do in this situation. If you want to pursue something, right? Are you willing to put the work in to make things happen? Sometimes we say yes, but what are your actions, right? What are your words and what are your actions? Do you follow through with that? If you say yes, are you following through with that? Are you going to follow through with that? Do you realize what that's going to take? People always find time to do those things that are important to them, right? And I feel like, again, you're struggling with this balance. You're struggling to see who's on your side. You're could be struggling with your emotions and your feelings, that you're overly sensitive, that a lot of things are bothering you and getting to you. But you have to make that time to breathe. You have to make that time for yourself to sort out, how do I get past this? How do I move forward? All right, so I have my energy oracle cards here, and we're going to get a final message. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves those tough questions. How badly do you want it? We have first chakra, Archangel Michael, and that represents your base chakra, stability, security, your strength. It's time to take action and do something. I feel like this has kind of been something that's been swirling around, or that you've been thinking about, but I feel like the time has come for you to take actions. Do you want it or do you not want it? Do you want to put the effort in or do you not want to put the effort in? We have the thinking woman, which represents that there could be a female that is around you that is a really good friend, somebody that you can rely on, but somebody that can teach you something, somebody that can show you something. It also could be that there is a woman that will be coming into your life, and it could be some sort of relationship that you have with this woman or this person, but she's very knowledgeable. She's very smart. She has a lot of experience. She knows a lot of things. It could be you start a new relationship with a woman on a personal level, and this person comes into your life, and you learn a lot from this person, that she shows you a lot of things. But I feel like it's doing, it's learning, it's knowing. Also being open to what she has to say. If there's someone that's around you and they have something to say, I feel like it's listening to what it is that they have to say, that maybe before you would ignore that. But I feel like there's someone coming in that you need to listen to what they say. And there's a butterfly here, and I feel like that's your own knowledge and your own learning within yourself, that, okay, maybe I need to listen to what people have to say around me more. We have the temple path, and I feel like it's that path to that calmness, to that knowing, to that inner light, to that high priestess, to that breathe, to that what you're capable of, and learning more about yourself. Sometimes we, like I said before, we're tested to see, are we going to go the distance? Are we going to put the work in? Are we going to put that, like we're tested to see how badly we want a situation to resolve or to have happen. And I feel like that's what you're going through here. It's really some inner thought. It's some deep thought. It's some getting in touch with yourself. But it's also those rewards that you have for that giving, right? That giving of self, and then that receiving for self. And it's that back and forth. But I feel like there's someone that's going to be around you, that's going to show you the way, that's going to give you some information, that's going to give you something that will help you on this path to the temple. All right. Let's grab a Star Dragons card and close out for a final message. Again, the link for these cards are down below if you're interested. We have inspiration. Inspiration. So it could be that this woman brings you inspiration, or it could be somebody that is around you that brings you inspiration and says, yeah, you know what, she did it, or she blazed the way, or she made that path, or she hung in there, and I can learn from her. What can I learn from her, right? She could be that inspiration for you to be motivated, to keep going, to find those answers and that direction for within yourself. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.